when I'm thinking of, looking back at your journey around the world, I'm thinking there's lots of very distinct differences. Now, obviously, like when I'm reading your book and listening to your journey, when you're going around the world, you've got certain issues like the lack of sleep, the logistical nightmare that it was, cultural confusion, language barriers, literally getting beaten up on the street. You
Yeah.
like when you say this challenge was difficult, how is it not, how is it more difficult in any way than running around the world?
Yeah. So I guess the easiest way to, and I agree with you. I'm running around my little island with all of the comforts of home, more or less. How can it be more difficult than going to the war zones, Yemen, Iran, Syria, Afghanistan, let alone all of the other far-flung islands? Well, the easiest way to sum it up is I did 196 marathons in each of the countries, 196 countries, over a period of 674 days. So that was roughly 3 marathons a week. So the 2 years, 674 days roughly. But with Run Britain, we may not have been flying anywhere, but I was running the equivalent of about 2 marathons every day. So it goes from 3 marathons a week to 14 marathons a week. And I am running not just for 4 or 5 hours every 3 days, I'm running for 12 hours every day. And that you have no sleep, you have no time to eat properly, you have no time to recover. Your legs are constantly either in this desperate recovery mode of trying to flush lactic acid through your legs and get fresh oxygenated blood to them while you're trying to sleep, which is pretty painful. And then when you're up and about and running, you're also getting the pain from the running. And then on top of that, you have the fact that I needed about 8,000 calories to maintain my weight per day. And eating, even if you just sat in a restaurant and ate, it would still be quite difficult to get that amount of food in 12 hours and be able to do so relatively healthily. And so my challenge was I was running all the time, and running on 8,000 calories is pretty uncomfortable in your stomach, no matter what you're eating. And so I was losing weight every single day. Every single day of the journey, by the way, I lost some form of weight. I never went back up at all. It was just I wasn't very good at it, basically. We weren't very good at keeping my weight on, and that was a struggle. So to answer your question, the logistics was still difficult, but nowhere near as hard. And physically, my body was just put through its paces so much more than they were on running the world. Naturally, there were less dangers, but I still had the dangers of things like traffic and cars, which I think a lot of people kind of take for granted. But when you're running so far, well, kind of obvious, I guess, but you have to run on roads a lot. And it only takes, and I've been hit by cars 3 times now, on various different trips, and it
My
only takes
God.
that. I know, and it only takes that one little extra bit of distance for that car to get a little bit too close to you, and so
Mm.
that's a bit of a worry. But no, all things considered, I hope that answers the question. There was easier bits, but it was a lot harder physically.